Okay, it's time. Let's start book 3. I don't think I'm ready, but here we go, I guess. Oh, I mean, yeah, that's. I guess it is the
The
same. I
White
haven't started
Ship.
yet.
She was one of the fastest vessels that was ever built. The man who should be king of the English now, the son of King Henry, was on board when she sailed off. And with the prince there were
what?
140 knights and many nobles, all on their way from Normandy to England. They say the ship hit the rocks, and then a fire broke out. Even before the White Ship had departed, the prince and his men had begun to drink and get violent. Monks that were meant to bless the voyage were then forced to disembark. Some say the ship had been cursed. The king's son and many of his family were pulled down into the Black Sea that night.
That looked like the exact same ship Aliena was on. Oh, there she is. Yeah.
You're forgetting one important detail. Not only these monks, but also Stephen of Blois, the king's nephew, left the ship before it embarked. They say he got ill.
That old rumor.
The same Stephen who calls himself the King of the English now.
What? That cannot be a coincidence.
Yes, it can be. Of course he's king now. He survived. He is the king's nephew.
What do you think, my lord?
I think Stephen is a clever man. Clever enough to have his whole family perish. But why he would want to rule that godforsaken rock, I will never understand.
What makes you say that? I love my country.
Then why are you leaving?
Well, because I want to see something new.
I'll tell you what you're going to see. A proper country, where people know how to behave.
I mean, I don't disagree.
What about you? Why are you leaving?
Is this gonna be timed? No, I need more time. I'm looking for someone. Let's not start with these sudden decisions. I'm not ready.
I guess I should stay out of other people's business. Forgive me.
You English do talk a lot, don't you?
Are you
I
not
just
English?
don't know how to feel
You
about
sound
leaving my country
English.
for the first time. I mean,
In
how
more
should
ways than
anyone
one.
feel?
Hopeful? I'm gonna shut up. I'm not gonna say anything.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just running away.
You should all get some rest. It will not be long now till we reach Cherbourg.
Thank the Lord. I can't wait to be back.
Book 3, The Eye of the Storm, Chapter 15. The Journey. Cherbourg,
In the late summer
Normandy.
of 1142, I had left my home country, England, for good. My old life lay in shambles, as did my former home of Kingsbridge. Having failed both my friends and family, I had set out to find my baby's father, the man I still loved with all my heart, Jack Jackson. And so early one morning in July, I finally arrived on the shores of Normandy. With nothing on me but a pouch of coin and a young, curious face yet unnamed, who was just as unfamiliar to this new world as was I.
Okay, ooh, I won't give the baby a name until I found Jack. Yeah, I was gonna say, it doesn't even, did I just call the baby an it? He doesn't have a name? I'm still not sure. Well, they don't have a name right now. Because she did say it. That he still didn't. I think he's a him. But before we go forward, I had some microphone issues. I tried to record it yesterday and I had some microphone issues, so I didn't actually inspect the ship that we got here on. Is it this one? What? Philip's book, the Justice of the Church. Why does it have a notification on it? I thought I read this. Written in Latin, Philip's book is copied by the scribes and the illuminators of Kingsbridge and has found its way into the larger libraries of England and Normandy. It is mostly read in the higher circles of the clergy because its content is of a complicated and delicate nature. In his book, Philip writes critically about ordeals by fire, water, and other means. For centuries, the official purpose of these ordeals was to decide whether a man or woman was guilty or not. According to the clergy, if someone was not guilty, he or she will be saved by God from a cruel and certain death. Prior Philip writes, the Lord simply cannot be summoned by man, not even the Pope, to pass judgment. Man must serve the Lord does not serve man. That is fair. Philip believes that miracles that have happened during these ordeals were nothing but lies to protect and exonerate members and allies of the clergy. Enemies of the clergy, on the other hand, were killed or seriously hurt and disgraced. Furthermore, Philip writes that the suffering of the martyrs of the past prove, I think you mean, of the past proofs. That still sounds wrong. That God is not simply saving people from burning or drowning. According to Philip, these ordeals must be stopped at all costs. All very fair. I don't know, I feel like I've read that. I think it updated now that I'm in Normandy, maybe to say, oh, it's famous here in Normandy, and just gave us a bit more information. But I feel like I've read that already, did I not? Okay, I don't know, but I'm here for this. The sinking of the White Ship, 1120. The White Ship was one of the fastest ships of its time. It was steered by the son of the captain of the Mora, the ship that brought William the Conqueror from Normandy to England. Wait, William the Conqueror? Oh, for fuck's sake, is it? It's not Hamley, is it? When he invaded when he invaded England in 1066, like his father before him. The captain of the White Ship gladly offered his vessel to many members of the royal household of King Henry. Please stop saying, making me read that word, because I can't pronounce the sound. The captain of the White Ship gladly offered his vessel to many members of the royal household of King Henry for passage on their travel from Normandy to England to visit the king. Like his father before him. I don't think I read that. But like all of the poor souls who went aboard the ship, the captain did not survive the voyage. In the dark of night, the ship hit rocks and a fire broke out. The ship was dragged down in the dark abyss of the sea, and with it many of the king's heirs. Stephen of Blois was meant to be on board as well, but it is said a sudden sickness caused him to leave the ship before it set sail. That November night, as the White Ship sank, Stephen became the last remaining male heir to the English throne, and thus some claim he was responsible for the sinking. Nah, I don't think so. It was kind of ruthless. I mean, it was, but it wasn't like William. He wasn't incredibly ruthless, you know. We do still have Father Stagger. Wait, what is this? Oh, the Amores! We brought it with us. Oh, we can't actually inspect it. That's fine. So, um, the ship. I think I said it right this time. I have a problem with that sound. I can't pronounce that sound, that I sound. I keep pronouncing it as if I'm saying the animal. I mean, of course, in context, if I'm saying that word in a sentence, and you can see that what it is, in context, you probably wouldn't have heard the difference if I didn't point it out, probably, but I am very aware of it, so every time I'm like, oh, I need to say it right. I'm hyper aware, which is a problem. So what were we saying? Sorry, I took the first ship in the morning, had to get away as fast as possible. Okay. Mason, I recognize those tools. A mason like Jack. Okay.
You're still here.
Oh, it's you. I'm just trying to get my feet used to good solid ground again. The last bit of our voyage wasn't exactly my pint of ale.
I'm looking for someone. A red-haired mason called Jack Jackson. He came to France about a year ago or so.
A fellow mason, great. Unfortunately, I wouldn't know a thing. After all, I just arrived here with you.
I know.
Fair.
But should you meet someone like that on your journey, tell him Aliena of Shiring is looking for him.
All right. Jack Jackson. I'll keep an eye out for you.
Thank you.
Oh, that's nice.
That hammer you're carrying, do you happen to be a mason?
We
Actually,
just
I
talked
am.
about it, but
You have a keen eye, mistress.
I guess I just know a mason when I see one.
To be honest, I haven't been one long. Just finished my apprenticeship in Salisbury. Before that, I used to shear sheep with my parents, but I guess that wasn't really for me. Father still hates me for leaving, though.
I also left sheep shearing. Why? Why I do this to myself, honestly. I didn't know how to say it.
I left my old life as well.
Scary, isn't it? To start off fresh and all that.
Well, you definitely sound more excited than scared.
Oh, I am excited. Wouldn't anyone be?
I don't
Oh,
know.
no.
Maybe.
Not anyone.
What will you do to find work here as a mason?
Don't know. That's for me to find out. All I heard was that the wages are better over here.
So you'll just travel from town to town and look for employment?
Right. And I'll start in Lassay. A fellow mason told me about the abbey there. He said these Normans build their churches quite differently than we do back home. I need to see that with my own eyes. Maybe learn a thing or two.
Okay, so maybe let's say.
Do many masons go to Lassay?
I dunno. It's really just a tiny town. The mason who told me just happened to do some repairs there once. It's likely he told others as well.
Okay, so let's go to
Have a
let's
safe
say.
journey.
Oh, thank you. You too.
They're bargaining for passage. Doing business with the English must pay. Oh, heck, I don't have anything. They're selling fish and whatever cargo they can get their hands on. Can I just go? Do I have to? Oh, not Jack. For a moment I thought, but it's not him.
Good day. I am looking for someone. A traveler who came through here last summer. Oh, hush now. I need to talk to this man.
Looks young.
He was born at the beginning of summer.
Not Jack.
What's his name?
I haven't given him one yet.
You should. He needs to know who he is. Makes growing up a lot easier.
Well, I mean, it's still a bit early for that.
You said
but-
you're looking for someone.
He looks a bit like you, actually. Yeah, no, that's...
The man I'm looking for looks a bit like you, actually. A bit more boyish, though.
So he has red hair, but no beard. Well, I don't know every redhead around these parts. There are quite a few of us. Most of my family here in Cherbourg is ginger.
Oh, his name is Jack Jackson, and he is a mason.
No. No, sorry. I haven't seen him. And I come here every day. Maybe Amay saw him. She helps the sailors get their cargo to the nearby towns. Carries travelers, too.
I'll ask her. Well, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Let's ask about Leslie.
What's the way to Lessay?
Well, that's quite far. Ask Amay to take you there by coach.
Oh, there she is. Is it her? Appears to be her coach. She must know her way around France.
Hey, you. That's quite a bundle you got there. Where are you headed?
Have you seen
Let's
a
ask
red-haired
that
mason?
first.
You must have landed here sometime late last summer.
Another ginger in Normandy? I wouldn't have noticed, even if he was carrying a hammer instead of a fishing rod. Maybe you should ask someone in Barfleur. That's where all the travellers come through, the pilgrims and kings. Their lot rarely lands in Cherbourg, with the fortress passing back and forth between Stephen of Blois and Geoffrey of Anjou. Why you even came to Cherbourg in the first place baffles me.
It was the earliest ship I could get.
You must be in some hurry, madam.
Let's just say I needed to get away before I changed my mind.
Fine with me. Who am I to judge?
Okay, maybe in Barfleur someone's a jerk. So now how now how do I choose? Am I ready to leave Cherbourg?
What other routes are there besides going through Barfleur?
Oh, I don't know, really. You need to ask the locals about that. But Barfleur sounds like a good place to start. Shake my hand and I'll take you there.
Do you know the road to Lessay?
Been there, seen it. But I hope you're not planning to go there on foot. Tell you what, you give me some coins and I'll treat you to me wagon. You can even change your
Yeah,
destination
that-
once we're on the road. What'd you say?
That was
Travelling by
my...
coach is a lot less strenuous than walking. Your little worm deserves
No
some
way,
warmth
really?
and a rocking carriage.
Okay, but still, I don't know. That was what I was worried about. I don't have coins. Can I rob someone? I guess we need to confirm
Change
that
your
we need
mind, madam?
coins.
You know,
So that
I
it
reserved
becomes,
a cozy spot.
So it becomes a thing here, a clue item or something.
All right, take me out of town.
All right, where'd you need to be?
Oh, so I can just go? I mean, she said that I need to pay her to go to Lessay, but maybe let's go to Barfleur first.
We went to Barfleur, a scenic port town built on granite. It was the biggest
fuck?
harbour in Normandy and the main entry point for the Normans to their new possession of the Isle of England.
What's going on with your face, Aliena? Why do you have that skull?
Okay, editing C here. I have no idea why I thought that this was Aliena facing us, so I thought that this was like her wearing a cow skull for a reason, and it was so out of nowhere. I don't know why I thought that it looked anything like that. It is clearly Aliena's headscarf thing from behind. But no, I thought it was a cow skull that she was using as a mask, and she was facing us and facing away from everybody else, and it looked so creepy. It freaked me out.
I talked to some of the sailors and fishermen, but no one had remembered seeing Jack. How could they? Almost a year had passed since he, a simple mason, had journeyed through the busy town, a town with no memory other than that of the last king who passed through on yet another one of his violent conquests. Maybe I was approaching this the wrong way. What had drawn him to France in the first place? The distance to Kingsbridge? Or something specific? What was my lead?
His father. Harfleur? No. I mean, going from port to port is useless. So let's just visit the abbey.
Lessay was tiny, but as it turned out, worth the trip. In the small abbey church of the Trinity, I met a monk who
How are you
claimed to have
paying
talked
for
to a
all of
man
this?
fitting Jack's description. He'd been fascinated by the abbey's rib vaulting and had asked the monks countless questions about the place's construction. The monk apologized that he couldn't tell me where Jack had traveled next, but I didn't mind. I lay down to sleep on the floor of the abbey guest house, and for the first time in almost a year, I felt relief. As I drifted into sleep, I hugged our baby tight and whispered into his tiny pink ear, "We're going to find your daddy."
I mean, I don't trust that monk, but at least you have hope. Why make a stop in Le Mans? Follow the pilgrims to Mont Saint-Michel. Why? What has the monk said? Like, what? He didn't say much, did he? Or did I just miss it? I don't know. Follow the pilgrims to make a stop in Le Mans. But this is make a stop in Le Mans. This is follow the pilgrims. Would I follow the pilgrims? I'm trying to think, because we are following into what we think Jack would have done. Would Jack have followed pilgrims? Maybe. Or would he have gone to Le Mans? For what reason? Like, why Le Mans? I'm gonna follow the pilgrims. I don't know. I really don't know
My father had
why.
once told me tales of the Mont Saint-Michel. Long ago, the Archangel Michael had urged Hubert of Avranches to build an abbey on a lonely rock on the ocean by burning a hole into his head. They say one can go and see his penetrated skull on display in the church of his hometown. It was a windy day when I arrived, and the place was crowded with pilgrims and jongleurs. I remembered Jack's fascination with these tellers of stories. I spoke to one who was just taking a break. As it happened, he had indeed met Jack, although not in Mont Saint-Michel, but on a road heading east from there. Apparently,
Okay.
Jack had been hopelessly tracking jongleur who might have known his father, Jack Cherbourg. But as he'd been
There we
gradually
go.
running out of money, he'd intended to look for work in Le Mans or Tours. That was about 6 months ago. I was catching up.
There we go. Okay, but like we didn't know about Le Mans. I knew. I guess I was metagaming a bit, but not really. Like I knew that he was looking for his father, but besides that, I knew that he was just here. Like Aliena knew that he was just here, and I would have assumed that he was looking for something to do, so not knowing where to go, he would follow people, is what I thought. But yeah, now Aliena knows what I already knew. Let's go to Le Mans, I guess.
Going to Le Mans reminded me of all the trouble I'd left behind in England. 30 years ago, Le Mans had been conquered by the Plantagenet Geoffrey of Anjou, Maud's husband. And although they'd held it ever since, other noble families kept on pulling at the city, like Maud and Stephen tearing at England. There was no sign of Jack, but I got news of a new kind of cathedral being built in Saint-Denis, just north of Paris. It was possible that Jack had gone there to learn from the craftsmen. That was, if he hadn't travelled further south, looking for work in one of the many churches in Tours, the hometown of Saint-Martin.
I don't know how interested Jack is in masonry at this point. He wasn't really interested, he was just doing it because Tom took him as an apprentice and as a son, but it wasn't really Tom's son, and now he's looking for his real father. So while he's doing masonry to earn some money to keep going, I don't think he's really interested in masonry, so I don't know that he would want to know more about masonry. So I'm gonna go in Tours, maybe. Although that guy here said he was going east. But then again, this is already east of here. So... and this is also east. Let's go to Tours. I feel like that's probably the way.